Hey pal, we made it back to the park. As you can see, we didn't stay down for long, so that's cool, you know. We're back at it, we're hitting the steps. I think we're a little over 2K right now. I just got to the park. But locking in does not happen overnight. Locking in is a combination. Sorry, I got a notification. Locking in is a combination of spending nights, days thinking like, man, I gotta lock in. You gotta want it first. You're gonna spend those days and nights and tossing and turning and wondering where you should go, what you should do. And it always looks tough, bro. It always looks tough, and it don't happen overnight. Like, you don't just wake up one day and boom, everything's different. It doesn't work like that, bro. Like, you do spend those days and nights alone, and you're like, man, I really gotta change something. I gotta do something with myself. And if you're like me, you spend those nights watching YouTube videos, like how to change your mindset, how to do this, how to lock in, how to do, And at first I just didn't get it, bro. I just didn't understand. I was like, how do people even do that? How do people just switch it up like that? But truth is, it doesn't happen like that, bro. People they don't just switch up. You gotta want it enough first to start, and then once you start, it's keeping up with that desire. It's keeping up with the desire to change, because you can start and you can stop just as easily, bro. You can start and you can stop, no effort. But staying on that is when you really become locked in. When you're constantly on it, when you're staying on whatever it is you want to change. For me, it's exercise. As you can see, I'm here at the park, taking a walk. We're about 2K steps in. We're going for 10K every day if we can. I was just out, bro. My first day I started walking. I hit my 10K, but I messed up my feet. I didn't have the right shoes, Messed up my feet. I was down and out for about 2 days. Couldn't come back to the park, but we're back. We're staying on it, That's when you're locked in. That's when you know that you're ready to change, bro. But it don't happen overnight. Like I said, you're gonna have to want it first, and you're gonna have to get to that point where you're like, I'm gonna do something about it, Then the part where you get locked in is after you start. It's not when you decide to change, it's after you start, because you're setting up yourself to reach a goal, right? You set it up, you put it on paper. For me, I wrote it in my notebook. It's like putting it on paper, but you can stare at the paper all day and say, yeah, I want to do that, yeah, I want to do that. But it ain't until you actually start doing it that you can get locked in. You know what I mean? You gotta know what you're locked in on first. And you can only get locked in after you start, bro. It's like a video game, you can't be locked in a video game if you never played it. You only get locked in after you start. After you start the game, bro. And this is the game of life you gotta play, man. This is your life you're playing with, bro. Anyways, we're gonna get into I guess a second thing that about locking in, and it changes your mentality. You start to see things different, bro. You start to see the things that you do differently, the time that you spend differently, the people that you spend that time with differently. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is you don't have to necessarily give up those things. Like your friends are always going to be on the game, bro. For me, they're always on the game, and I was there with them, bro. I was there with them on the game, but when I got locked in, I started seeing all that differently. You know, I don't spend hours a day on my PC on freaking Marvel Rivals anymore. You know, I'm out here at the park, bro. As you can see, there's a big tree behind me, and you can hear the traffic, I'm pretty sure. But when you're locked in, you start thinking, man, what could I be doing right now instead of, you know, these I think I heard a few people on YouTube call it low value activities or something like that. But it's like, you know, video games or just sitting in a call with your boys. I know it's fun, but bro, if you're like me and you're, you know, letting that type of stuff take up most of your time instead of putting it and focusing on yourself or your health or your wealth, health, wealth, you know. Like, I'm overweight, bro, and one day I did decide, you know, I don't want to be overweight anymore. I want to do something about it. But I had those thoughts for months, bro, years even. Yeah, I want to change myself, you know, I want to do things differently, I want to exercise. But it wasn't until I started, and I'm fresh into it, bro. I'm only like maybe not even 2 weeks into it. But after that second, I think it was after the second or third day, then I really got locked in. You know, I was really like, yo, I'm doing this. I'm actually doing this. You know, I'm here, I'm out here, I do a lot of workouts in my room. I do, now I'm doing walking at the park. But you don't got to give those things up, you know, the things you like you're hanging out with the boys or playing video games. It's just that you learn that you can slot that in somewhere in your day, but also fit in, you know, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, you know. And it's about a balance, bro. Like, you gotta, if you really want to change, if you really want to lock in, you're gonna figure out that balance is off, bro. You're gonna be like, damn, I gotta spend more time, you know, working on me. You know, your rank on the game is gonna go up the more time you put in it. But bro, look at yourself that way. You know, you're gonna rank up the more time you put into yourself. So, but it is about getting up and doing it. It's not about starting it, it's about doing it. You know, you gotta be somewhere first in order to be locked into that place, bro, into that mindset, you know. And I'm working on it every day. Well, I'm gonna go back to walking. So I'll see you guys in a sec. All right, we're about 6K steps in. Real quick, if this video inspired you to go take a walk, hit subscribe, bro. I'll see you at the park tomorrow. All right, we're gonna finish this up real quick and then we're gonna head on home. All right, we're back from the park. We hit our 10K. We stayed locked in for another day. I need to go take a shower now. Damn, it's hot. But if you made this far, thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. If you wanna see what I cook up tomorrow, please leave a like and subscribe. Until then, start your journey, dog. Time to lock in. See you later.